Good afternoon. My name's Taylor Roy. This is the third People and Places for Growth, the Economic Development webinar series. And this one's is combating the brain drain. And it's funded by the Economic Development Administration and created by us at North Country Council. The content for today, we'll have an overview of what brain drain is. We'll talk about popular New Hampshire higher education schools and majors. So we'll talk about some post-grad stats, popular industries, gaps in employment, future projections and barriers, how to retain and attract young adults to the area. I have a case study, and then we'll hear from our panelists. We have a few panelists from different industries, which will include education, manufacturing, and then accommodation in the food industry. And then we'll have time for questions and acknowledgements at the end. Overview. So what is brain drain? It's a substantial migration of people from one region to another in search of better life conditions. More than 50% of college graduates leave New Hampshire in search of jobs, housing, and increased opportunities. And this was taken from a stat in 2022, so this is pretty recent. I also graduated myself more recently, and it was really hard to find a job here. It was literally this or nothing. Also, internships are really far and few between up here. I experienced this myself. Importance of addressing brain drain. To fill the gaps in the aging workforce and keep numerous industries occupied in our area. More workers equals a stronger local economy, and it also opens more opportunities for employment and training programs in our area, which is also very important for both young and older employees. In February of 2020, there were about 777,000 residents either employed or looking for work or seasonal in New Hampshire. And as of February 2023, there were about 7,000 less, despite the population in New Hampshire increasing by 17,000. Popular New Hampshire higher education. White Mountains Community College is in Berlin and in Littleton. That's really popular. That's a 2-year school. They offer everything from nursing, education, welding, diesel mechanics, lots of things. Plymouth State, that's a 4-year university. Lakes Region is also more of a vocational technical school, along with NHTI, which is located in Concord. Southern New Hampshire University is a 4-year, but what's interesting about them is they offer a lot of online classes. So if you're an alternative student and maybe can't make it to the actual campus, this is a really good option for you. And then UNH, which is the largest university in New Hampshire, which is also a 4-year school. The most popular majors, this was taken from that list of schools I just went over. So the most popular majors there range from liberal arts, businessing and marketing classes, nursing, healthcare, elementary education, criminal justice, and then things like the more vocational side of welding, vehicle operation, fire science, things like that. Post-graduation employment. So these are the median earnings 6 years after graduation, and this is gathered from that list of schools that we previously looked at. UNH does have the highest tuition, but it also, if you can see here, they also have the highest median earnings 6 years after graduation. And then the percent of students employed 2 years after graduation. This is a really high percentage in New Hampshire. All of these students, these percentages, they may not be employed in New Hampshire, but to have 88% of students employed after they leave White Mountains Community College is really nice to see. And we can really see that our New Hampshire schools are really successful. Post-graduation employment by residency. This was taken from the UNH 2020 graduating class. Every year they do this kind of survey. And so it kind of includes where these kids went to work. And I just took the most popular majors they have. So engineering, their human and health services, liberal arts, life science and agriculture and business. Most of these, as you can see here, almost 30% of each major do not work in New Hampshire, even though they got their degree here, which is a lot of kids. In this graph, I just wanted to show the highlighted numbers show the top 5 industries. So in Coos, Grafton, and Carroll County, and most of those in each county are construction, manufacturing, retail trade, education services, healthcare, social assistance, arts, entertainment, and recreation. Gaps in employment. There's projected to be about 196,971 job openings for the top 80 occupations in New Hampshire, between 2022 and 2032. So in the next 10 years. The largest job shortage we see is in general and operation managers, 11,000, almost 12,000, right? That's a lot of job shortages in New Hampshire. Software developers, software quality assurance, 9,000. And then this heavy tractor trailer truck drivers, their schools in New Hampshire, a lot of schools in New Hampshire, right? Have things like this between the diesel heavy mechanics offered in Littleton to the CDL courses they offer at NHTI down in Concord. Registered nurses, 7,000. And again, a lot of these are some of the most popular majors taken at schools, and we can see really large job shortages. Future projections and barriers. New Hampshire is getting increasingly younger and will continue to do so. The fastest growing population of adults is age 18 to 39, which is really surprising. A lot of these barriers that prevent people from moving here or finding success is the lack of affordable housing. There being virtually no public transportation. I know up in Coos County, there's like one bus and one route, right? It's really limited. A slim diversity and non-existent nightlife. There's not a lot of stuff to do around here, right? And that doesn't really attract young people looking to do things. So how do you draw in young adults? Provide dining, shopping, and entertainment. Again, that goes back to the nightlife. Like create social, cultural, and civic activities, things to do in their community. Support and create high quality housing and rental units. Right now we see a high housing shortage and high costs. That's really hard for someone young to afford. Walkability and availability to amenities. This also includes that transportation, that public transportation aspect. We don't have trains, we don't have a lot of buses. Offer recreational areas. That's one thing we do have. That's one thing we can offer here. And we do offer already. Quality services, including healthcare. We saw that healthcare shortage of jobs was going to be 7,000 by 2032. That's a lot. And then create interactions with the government, both big and small, town government, select board, things like that. And then on to our case studies. All right, I really wanted to highlight Portsmouth, New Hampshire, because this is a really good example of a growing city with a lot of young people. So Portsmouth checks most of the boxes from services, amenities, and recreation. It's close to Rye and Hampton Beach. They have wildlife protection and viewing areas, rivers, recreation trails. They have local shops and dining, and they have nightlife and cultural and artistic amenities. Although their housing is somewhat expensive, the number of entry-level houses has greatly diminished, but the area plans to see an increase in the housing stock. They have some upcoming projects they're looking to build. And hundreds of new job opportunities could be coming from growth of local employers. Portsmouth Naval Shipyard is a really big employer for White Mountains Community College. They'll tell you the welding program in Berlin, the Naval Shipyard wanted to hire every single graduate of the most recent class, but obviously not all of them want to live in Portsmouth. But that just goes to show that it's a really large employer, both in Portsmouth, but also for the kids at White Mountains Community College in Berlin. Approximately 40% of their population is between 18 and 44. Almost half their population is pretty young. And then they have a higher percentage of residents aged 25 to 34 than Dover, Nashua, and Manchester. And that's it for me for my presentation so far. And next we'll hear from our panelists. And they were chosen based on some of the top workforce industries, which include accommodation and food services, educational services, and then manufacturing. First up, we'll hear from Mike Curtis, who is the principal of White Mountains Regional High School. Here's his email if you'd like to contact him later. And here is Mike.
So I'm up.
Yep.
Hi, good afternoon. Mike Curtis, principal at White Mountains. I'm talking to Taylor and the brain drain. in regards to this topic, I wanted to fill in our local employers and folks on how we're tackling that issue. So image of a grad, and you'll see this visual. So getting the next generation ready, we use this a lot throughout our programming. So you can see the three domains. And this is really how we're trying to get the next generation that workforce ready for you. So if you look at like the middle section, those are like your work related those are your work related words, your necessary abilities. And what I've got another slide down the road, and maybe like Taylor, Angie, like if you can look at those and tell me if we're hitting, if that's really what employers are looking at too. But that middle column, I think those translate to the workforce. Callie, when you look at those are kind of what our kids are gonna learn at White Mountains and get right into your field. The first column and the third column, those dispositions and habits, those are like your traditional soft skills. So I just wanted to show you the graph, image of a grad. If you get a White Mountain, someone that's graduated from White Mountain and is going to be employed in your company, they should know the language. So if you said, hey, what does image of a grad mean to you? They should give you some of these words, some of these dispositions, and they should really kind of be part of their makeup as a citizen. So at White Mountains, as you can see, and I'm trying to bring it together, we're really trying to like make good citizens, and Taylor, who was a 2020 grad, is that correct? 2020. And she had a tough one because her graduation, I mean, the only people allowed were her parents, and they waved to her from 100 yards away. And then we put in the next 10 kids and 10 parents, and she turned out okay. But this was really like, for Taylor, this was part of like, this was built into like the fabric of White Mountains. And when you see her now, she's of course she's taken upon herself to like embed these skills, but she certainly is an image of a grad at White Mountains, and that's kind of like our finished product. So kind of bringing it together. So thanks. We do have an advisory, and when I talk to I'll talk to like Rotaries or different groups of adults my age, and I'm not afraid to say it, 55, 55, man. Yikes. So when you talk to like Gen Xers like me, parents and grandparents, we didn't have advisory. We might have had homeroom where we checked in and just kind of screwed off for 10 minutes. Now, like, Taylor's generation, like they'll go into advisory, and we'll have these topics, and they'll do some role playing, and we'll have the grit. Hey, this week we're going to talk about grit. What does grit mean to you? uh, you know uh, that social intelligence, confidence, those kind of things that we want to bring out in kids. We get that through our advisory program, which meets 3 times a week. We'll bring in our kids once or twice a week as a whole school and do some of this work to really work on their soft skills and transferable skills. And then like the fourth bullet is our lunch and learn opportunities. And that is, so someone that sees this webinar, if your company, your business would like to connect with our future employees, you can reach out to myself. And what we've done is, like, we've had aviation, we've had, I'll give you an example. We've had like an electrician come in because that field, they can't get enough of them. So the electrician comes in, the kids that are interested in that field, they sign up. We provide lunch. They listen to the community professional kind of pitch what they do for work and what opportunities are out there and how do you get the certification. And the kids ask questions. With the aviation, one, because I think that's a growing field. And we had, especially with drones, the guest speakers, they came in, they had a couple drones. And after they spoke, the kids ate lunch, got to network, which I think is another kind of transferable soft skill that the kids are learning through our lunch and learns, is just networking with business professionals. And then they took our students out and gave them a drone demonstration. So advisory and lunch and learns, kind of piggybacking on that, we have an outdoor expo September 17th at the Lancaster Fair. We're bringing in grades 7 through 12 from all our North Country schools to the Lancaster Fair. It's like a career fair for outdoor outdoor employment opportunities. So like that hands-on kind of piece. So our kiddos are gonna spend from 8 to noon. We're gonna kind of filter them in. Our seniors will go first, and seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, our middle schoolers. Other schools are gonna come, and then we'll feed them, and they'll get to learn more about outdoor careers. So that is a big shift in how we approach education from when I was in high school or a young teacher. We welcome businesses into the school. We want our businesses talking to kids. We want our businesses in our CTE programs, recruiting kids and telling them what opportunities there are. We used to do, like, if you were going to learn those dispositions or soft skills, you really got it through your classes in homeroom. Now we build it into like traditional classes, CTE classes. We have ELOs, extended learning opportunities. If you see that acronym, it's extended learning opportunities. We have kids that are going out for internships. We really try to, if you have an apprenticeship and you contact the school, we'll try to match a student. We've had in that electrician world, we've matched apprenticeships like the last 3 years running. So that is something that we've connected, and we see how to place the student and what the business is looking for. So we really do concentrate on those disposition soft skills through those 4 bullet points. And just again, like we really try to say, hey, in advisories and in different avenues, like, hey, what are you strongest when you look at that image of a grad visual, and what can you improve? And what we hear from local businesses, because I've had my hands in this for a while, is, and I kind of looking at my notes for this, but employers tell me that 85% of that new employee is, they want, like, if you're gonna, the student was 100%, 85% is, they want strong, soft, and transferable skills. 15% is the hard skill. So like if a potential welder, if they had all those image of a grad and transferable skills, and they got like a grade of like A+, but they didn't know, they weren't an A+ welder at 18, the employer would train them on the hard skill and gladly do it if their transferable skills were where they needed to be. That's what we hear. If that's changed, I'd love people to tell me different. So we're really trying to do both well, but we do understand the importance of this slide. You know, talking to Callie and prior to this, and she agreed that 80% of success is just getting that new employee, that Gen Z employee, to show up. Related to the image of a grad and our transferable skills, besides being that I call that the professionalism piece, but what employers are looking for and what we're trying to do with our Gen Zs, so that they hear it before you get them, is like the conversation communication piece. That communication piece is not, Gen Zs they don't talk anymore. Like, again, my generation, we didn't have the internet or cell phones. We had to actually call and talk. So we like talking to people. Gen Zs don't, it's not that you guys don't like talking to people, Taylor, but you don't have to. You just text and you Instagram, and that drives people my age nuts, who might be your boss at the present time. Anyway, what we're trying to do to help our Gen Zs is to have discussion-based assessments in the classroom, collaborative, that collaboration activity piece. We're doing capstones where seniors have to do a 15-minute presentation, like a passion project. And then they have to invite a panel to hear them communicate, explain, articulate, that kind of stuff. So those are things that we're trying to work with the communication piece. And then professionalism is, I think, is something that is not easy, but we're doing it, we're trying, where kids are on time, dressed appropriately. Language, here's another one that's generational, is formal emails. And we are really working on that, because when seniors are getting seniors are the best at formal emails, but students are emailing me at times. It's not good. But they're kids. So we're working on that. We're all in on image of a grad that serves our future employees well. So we've done it for about 10 years, and starting in 2017, we actually have an image of a grad award that goes on our honor wall, and we're up to 40 seniors that, and again, it doesn't have to be, they're typically not your valedictorian. Your valedictorian in theory has a lot of those image of a grad skills, but we want to highlight other deserving seniors who display the same traits. And that's who you see on our honor wall. What do employers want? This is what I hear that they want. And again, leadership skills a lot of them are like kind of vague. But again, like what we try to do at White Mountains through some of our inquiry learning is to get kids to problem solve more, to take leadership roles. We have a lot of different things for such a small North Country school where they can have leadership opportunities. We do work on the writing piece, but we do concentrate on the research piece. We want our students to know where to find the answer. And that, I think that translates to businesses, relationships, and the technology skills, I think, are there for our kids. But those are what we think employers are looking for, and we're trying to help with. And then these two tie in, just to give you a flavor that, and I always use, like, when I went to high school, the guidance counselors really pushed 4-year schools. So Taylor's parents and Grant, like when they were at White Mountains, I went to White Mountains. It really was like Plymouth State, Keene State, the military, and UNH. So what we want our business community to know, if you hear differently, here's this straight up. We want kids to find their pathway. We want White Mountains to open up doors and opportunities for our kiddos to find their path for success, and success could look different for kids. So we have a vibrant CTE department. A lot of our students go to Littleton. We do put, if they want a career in trade schools, we're not pushing them to UNH or Plymouth State. They can do well in those trade fields, and they're necessary for, as Taylor said, for New Hampshire to thrive. So we push trade schools. In the next slide, we do show them what, if you go, hey, 2-year, 4-year, 6-year, we try to give equal time to trades and post-secondary, and kind of what that looks like. One of my mantras that I've used for our students is like, what are you going to do with your 84 grand? And I think, every year it goes up a little bit. So I'm not sure what the number is now. And I've said this to our students a number of times. You get a free education. It's for you. I mean, someone's paying for it, but it's 84 grand to go to White Mountains or Littleton, Gorham, Berlin. The price is about the same. So we really I want our kids to use the 84 grand that the taxpayers are giving to really to open up doors and opportunities. So that's kind of like our motto when it comes to what are you going to do with the 4 years you have at White Mountains? And there's a lot of things that you can do, a lot of pathways. So I think I tackled everything. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Next, we'll hear from Callie Dingman, Production Materials Planner at Rhodabeck. Callie?
Hi. So yes, I'm Callie Dingman. I'm actually the director of operations at
Oh,
Rotovac.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. That's how I started, was the production materials planner. And so Rotobec is a equipment manufacturer. We are located in St. Justine, Canada. That's our headquarters. We are also located in Littleton, New Hampshire, and we have a manufacturing plant in Groveton, New Hampshire. Mike, we absolutely love your CTE programs, as well as all the other schools that have developed their programs around you. The North Country is full of great CTE classes that are helping our future employees develop skills so that they can come in with the training and the base that they need. So the image of the grad program, I can tell you, is great. We've had great success with the White Mountains Regional High School students that we've hired. They are driven, they work well with the rest of the team. They come to work, they're flexible, they show up. So that program is working, and we appreciate you guys for having programs like that. One of the biggest issues for manufacturers in our area is going to be succession. I look around and, we'll put job ads out there. It's easy and wonderful to get a bunch of applications for some positions, but there are more technical positions that is not so easy to find employees for. And so one thing that we're kind of doing here at Rotobec is we are combating that by doing a grow your own program. Inside our company, we are very, very much willing to train employees to get to their end goal. So if they start out as the janitor and they someday want to be the continuous improvement technician, we will provide the training necessary to get them where they need and want to be. We've had many, many employees that have gone from shop floor level employment to technical positions throughout our staff. We generally do not have to advertise for those types of jobs anymore. Our inventory controls, our planning processes, management teams, continuous improvement technicians and coordinators, customer service, our on-site service technicians. We have a wide range of opportunity at Rotobec, shipping and receiving. I mean, we are full service from the ground up. So we generally try to stick with the employee base that we have, and we'll grow them into wherever their future needs to be. Because we do realize that it's hard. Education is expensive, and some people don't know right off the gate getting out of high school what they want to do. I was supposed to be a music teacher. Here I am. So it's you never really know, and it's hard when you're 18. I encourage all students to really keep your mind open and flexible, because you never really know. There's always that question. But no, it's really important to the North Country manufacturers to have partnerships with schools. Um, the White Mountains Community College, they send us really great employees. At one time, when the market was a little better, we had weekend shifts that we could employ the welding students so that they had got on the job training as well as their college education at the same time. So we hope to get back to that someday, where we can reopen those weekend shifts and have the production to keep people, moving there. So yeah, graduates we need, or just employees, period. Communication and transparency, huge. The soft skills that Mike talked about, absolutely huge. All three columns that he presented are very, very important to successful employees. I really like when I can come to work and I don't have to be the director of personalities. I like to come to work and look at the problem solving that we need to tackle as a team. So it's really enjoyable when we get employees in the door that are already just set up for the success. I guess that's my piece, Taylor. Do you have anything else you want me to touch on?
No, that was perfect. Thank you so much. In summary, it is important to raise awareness about New Hampshire industries and early age and connect them to recent graduates, like we're doing here. Also, informing young adults about college majors that enhance their potential work opportunities. So knowing what major gaps there are going to be in the industry and things like that. And then lastly, creating programs that relieve student debt, keep tax dollars in the state by retaining recent graduates, addressing housing, and filling gaps in employment. And those are all things we talked about today. Thank you for participating. Questions can be typed into the chat, or you can email me or any of us if you have further questions. And then this is my email here. This is Angela's. This is our website. And then we also do post all of these recordings on our website as well. And so Hallie's and Mike's emails also included in this presentation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.